Good morning, everyone.
There's been an update to our software.
That's why I was laughing.
And it had a countdown.
3, 2, 1, go. Hey, how's everybody doing? Good morning, Friday, the day after Canada Day. And whoa, we're sober today. Isn't that nice? I didn't say at 11:30 at night after the fireworks and we're getting turned up. And I'm like, hey, do you want me to go get us a couple slices of pizza from 2 for $1?
And
yeah,
then,
is that a good idea? Okay, I'll see you in 5 minutes.
And then not come back for 3 days.
Yeah. Then show up like Sunday night. Man, feels good to be up and alive on a Friday after Canada Day.
Welcome to the Ashes to Rubies podcast, where we talk about all things about life in recovery.
Life in recovery. Thank you for joining us. I was thinking.
My name is Vicky.
I'm John.
We're your co-hosts today.
Co-host or co-host?
Welcome to our amateur podcast. Thanks for listening. This will be about a 10 to 12 minute.
Yeah, strap on your seatbelt. Put on your helmet.
And morning reading.
Put on your jock strap.
Stop it.
Have you ever worn a jock? I guess they call them Jills in the...
No? I didn't.
Never needed to. Yeah. Anyway, let's not talk about that.
I don't know why we are.
You know what I'm thinking of right now is your hair. Your gorgeous mane that is turning a silver color.
It is.
And you have a new shampoo, obviously. I don't even think you used it today, but I can smell it. I can smell it from like 3 days ago.
No, this is a different.
I really like the smell of your new shampoo.
Thank you.
It's very strong. I can smell you coming in a good way. But you don't like it because you don't like scents.
I'm sensitive to some scents. They give me headaches.
Sensitive to scents. Yes. You're the person on the bus that we all are aware of.
No.
Do not wear perfume. And you're the one that gets slaughtered.
No one's aware of it.
And your eyes start bleeding and your nose. And
there's just sometimes when the bus is really full where I'd have a headache by the time I got to work.
That's horrible. What's the speaking of hair?
I wouldn't say anything.
You wouldn't say anything?
I've moved maybe once or twice. I've moved seats, which is so awkward because you're staying on the bus, but you're moving seats. Do you grill the person? And so I'm just like, I say hey, I'm really sorry. It's nothing personal. It's just that your perfume is really strong.
Do you say something?
No, I didn't know what to do. I
do just grill them?
Move to a different seat.
Is it typically a guy, a woman, or a man? Male or female?
It can be either. Yeah.
I find that some people are very unaware of how strong, but maybe they want to be like that.
Yeah.
They're like...
And lots of people like it, and that's fine.
Body axing. They got the cologne.
I don't think it's my job to say anything to them. And I think the 2 times that I moved, the person wasn't sitting directly beside me. One time someone sat beside me, and I actually I think I did actually apologize and just say I'm so sorry. I'm really sensitive to scents. Yeah. It's nothing personal.
I think we've come a long way with the scents. Speaking of hair, what's the worst thing you've ever done to your hair?
Oh gosh. What is the worst thing?
Have you ever shaved your head?
No.
You've come close.
The worst thing I ever did was cut a bob.
But that was
it was nice. I think I had a perm. No, not that time. That time
I have a picture of you with red hair. And I don't know what's going on in the front, but it kind of looks like you were running, not looking, and you hit a wall.
Sprayed it.
And your hair is standing up like that, and I'm pretty sure you have yellow jeans.
That's too many minutes of my hair. Just saying.
I had a mohawk once. That was the worst thing I did, and it was dyed color.
Actually, you've done worse things with a razor.
On my head?
Than a mohawk, yeah.
No.
I'll bring out some pictures later if you want.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Let's read our couple's devotion. Thank you for tuning in. We just welcome you to Friday once again, and we are going to read. We're on the 2nd. July
2nd.
Man, did I ever write what was I looking at?
I have no idea.
Oh, you know what I was going to read is this one.
Okay.
I'm just going to read it.
Just read it.
So it's called A Natural Faith. So the whole point of this is what I do is it's a contemplative meditation where we do a reading and then we discuss it. And then the idea or the concept that God brings to the surface, then we take that throughout the day. So this is what we do as a couple's meditation. It would be a contemplative meditation.
Okay.
So natural faith. That is our title. Deep down in every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God. It may be obscured by calamity, by pomp,
Keep going. Those are old words.
by worship of other things, in the but in some form or another it is there. For faith in a power greater than ourselves and miraculous demonstrations of that power in human lives are facts as old as man himself. The reading is, I have seen the workings of the unseen God in.
But that first part was a quote from
It was a
Alcoholics
quote,
Anonymous.
yeah.
Okay.
I have seen the workings of an unseen God in the 12 steps around the country. Miracles of recovery are everywhere in evidence. I now believe that God is in these rooms and in my heart. Today, faith is natural to me, a former agnostic, so somebody not even aware of God, as breathing, eating, and sleeping. The 12 steps have helped me to change my life in many ways, but none is more effective than the acquisition of a higher power. An acquisition of God. It is a beautiful journey of a relationship. We go from, because I was given permission to get a relationship and not a religion. A religion is like these rules and regulations, and if you do these things, if you have this conduct morally and socially, then you will be okay. You're a good religious person. And so I grew up in, hey, what's going on back there? Dog coming in. I grew up in a church environment. And so for me, my vision of God was very skewed. I had my own perception of that. And so coming into recovery in 2005, I was actually introduced to the concept of higher power. I am powerless over my life. I'm powerless over drugs and alcohol. I have no power in my life. I'm at a homeless shelter. There is no power in my life. And so I was given that opportunity to go on a journey of a relationship. And so that's kind of.
So the difference between like God is this concept that this church introduced me to, and this person, and they're telling me who God is, and they're telling me what God says I should and shouldn't do, to like the switch is I'm being invited to discover who God is for myself.
Mm-hmm. And it's there's so many denominations and so many theology debates, and you're post-trib or pre-trib, and so you're wrong, and it's like all of that stuff is like, do you feel the love of God? Have you experienced the love of God, or are you trying to do these things and get on with your life? So if I do these things, I have a little pain relief. I have, I minimize my guilt. I do my crosses. I light my candle. I pay my penance. I do my tithing, and then I'm a good religious person, and I get back on my life. What the recovery process showed was that it's a relationship with God, and I actually get my life like I did out of alcohol. I got a life out of my addiction, and I have to get my life out of a relationship with God. And so I didn't go to a rehab center where they said, this is God, this is the flannel graph, and here's the sermon over here, and this is what we have to do. It wasn't like that. It was like they trust God more than most people, that God will reveal himself to me and lead me into the relationship. And I've seen that in Asia, and God showing up in people's visions, and people like renouncing their Islamic faith and coming to be Christians, and coming into like church environment, and people actually leave where they are, the oppression where they are, and coming into a relationship of love. So it's really cool to see that. And I think what they're saying here is the idea of God is in our hearts. It's planted within our hearts, which is a really neat concept in our world today, because our world today is saying, what? Do whatever you want that makes you happy. There is no God. We're going to erase God from.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that we do, affections that we might have that bring us peace and comfort or calm our nerves, or and then it stops working.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need a different, and are there places where I'm too hung up on this thing, or too, and I've become too self-centered or too reliant on something that doesn't last. Whereas there is a different way. There is a God.
Yeah, and so we can get all of our needs met that we used to get in a different way, because all of us have this inherent thirst or desires, as we look at that in LifeLab, where we look at, like, these are our natural thirsts and desires, and we fill them every which way, and they leave us more thirsty. Mm-hmm. And I'm reminded of Jesus at the well, where he's like, if you take the water that I give you, you will never thirst again. And that's a big deal, because some of us have to go to wells every day and get more water and more water and more water, and it's never really quenching our thirst. And so the relationship of God, that is all loving, all comfort, all peace, all joy, that's what we can tap into. And so we are inherently designed to connect with power of God. So it's really cool to see my journey, and then see so many other people's journey in running a rehab, and seeing them being raised back to life, like breath being blown into them. And you're a miracle yourself. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, that's today.
That's today. So I think the meditation for me is, where do I see God in my life and in the lives of others?
And if I don't, am I willing to look or ask God to show himself to me?
Yeah. We're all at different parts of our relationship with God. So have a great weekend. Wash your hands, keep the peace, and be of good behavior. And we will see you another day.